Ever been in an argument only to have your opponent's friends jump in? That's the Philippines right now, except the argument is over the South China Sea, and the stakes are global. China claims nearly the entire sea, even waters at the Philippines' doorstep. It's about more than fishing. Think shipping lanes, energy, and national pride. The Philippines has gone to international courts and rallied support from the US and others. But China isn't alone. It's got a lineup of countries backing its claims. Who are these nations, and why does it matter? Understanding these alliances shows who really holds power. In this video, we'll break down the top 10 countries backing China. Some will surprise you. Let's get into it. Number 10 is Russia, a country that knows a thing or two about territorial disputes. Russia and China have grown close, united by rivalry with the US. Their no-limits partnership is a major force in global politics. Officially, Russia claims neutrality on the South China Sea, but in practice, it echoes China's talking points and backs them up with joint naval drills. At the UN, Russia and China often vote as a bloc, blocking Western-backed resolutions and shielding each other from pressure. It's a strategic alliance. Russia may not wave a Team China flag, but its actions speak volumes. In this global chess match, Russia is always in China's corner. That's the power of a well-timed alliance. On to number 9. Number 9 is Pakistan, China's iron brother. Their relationship is cemented by the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure project that ties their economies together. With China investing heavily in Pakistan's roads, ports, and power plants, Islamabad naturally backs Beijing on the world stage. On the South China Sea, Pakistan consistently supports China's call for bilateral negotiations and rejects outside involvement, especially from the US. Pakistan's diplomatic support is valuable, giving China legitimacy and countering claims of isolation. The military connection runs deep too. China is Pakistan's top arms supplier, aligning their strategic interests. Both countries see the world through a similar lens, wary of Western influence and regional rivals. For Pakistan, siding with China is a matter of loyalty, necessity, and shared worldview. Even though it's far from the South China Sea, Pakistan's voice carries weight. Their alliance is built on decades of trust and mutual benefit. When China needs support, Pakistan is always there. That's what makes them iron brothers. Number 8 is Cambodia, China's most reliable friend within ASEAN. ASEAN makes decisions by consensus, and Cambodia often blocks or waters down statements critical of China, paralyzing the group. Why? China is Cambodia's largest investor and aid provider, funding everything from bridges to government buildings. In 2012, Cambodia, as ASEAN chair, blocked a joint statement on the South China Sea, a huge win for Beijing. This pattern continues. Cambodia pushes for China's preferred approach, bilateral talks, fracturing ASEAN unity. For China, Cambodia's loyalty is a strategic asset, ensuring ASEAN remains divided and ineffective on the issue. The Philippines finds its regional coalition undermined from within. Cambodia doesn't have a claim in the sea, but its actions directly impact the Philippines' position. China's investment pays off in diplomatic dividends. That's why Cambodia is so important to Beijing. Let's move to number 7. Number 7 is Laos, another ASEAN member quietly backing China. Laos is economically dependent on China, especially after the construction of the China-Laos Railway, a key belt and road project. This dependency shapes Laos's foreign policy. It consistently aligns with China on the South China Sea, supporting bilateral talks and opposing internationalization. Laos's one-party socialist system also mirrors China's, creating ideological affinity. For Laos, siding with China is about survival, economic, political, and strategic. This support further fractures ASEAN, leaving the Philippines isolated. China's economic power translates into diplomatic muscle. Laos may be quiet, but its loyalty is unwavering. Another example of how Beijing shapes the region to its advantage. On to number 6. Number 6 is North Korea, China's most unpredictable ally. North Korea depends on China for survival, so its support is automatic and vocal. Pyongyang's state media regularly denounces the US and backs China's indisputable sovereignty over the South China Sea. While North Korea's endorsement isn't exactly prestigious, it serves a purpose. It makes China's position look moderate by comparison. North Korea's loud support helps create the illusion of a broader bloc backing China. For China, it's useful, even if it's not always welcome. For the Philippines, it's a reminder that China's network includes some of the world's most unpredictable actors. North Korea's support is a small but consistent piece of China's global strategy. Even the world's pariahs have a role to play. That's the reality of international alliances. Let's head to Europe for number 5. Number 5 is Serbia, China's steel friend in Europe. Serbia's partnership with China is built on investment, infrastructure, and shared grievances against the West. China has funded bridges, highways, and factories across Serbia, making itself indispensable. Politically, Serbia often sides with China, supporting its call for bilateral negotiations in the South China Sea. This support is reciprocal. China backs Serbia on Kosovo, and Serbia returns the favor on China's core issues. For Beijing, having a European ally is a PR win, fracturing potential EU unity. Serbia's stance shows China's reach extends far beyond Asia. For the Philippines, it's a reminder that this dispute is truly global. China's chess pieces are everywhere, even in the Balkans. Now let's look at Africa for number 4. Number 4 is Zimbabwe, a longtime ally of China. The relationship began during Zimbabwe's liberation struggle, with China providing crucial support. Today, China is Zimbabwe's top investor and diplomatic shield, especially as Zimbabwe faces Western sanctions. Zimbabwe consistently backs China on the South China Sea, calling for bilateral talks and denouncing Western interference. For China, African support is vital. It projects leadership of the global South and counters Western criticism. Forums like FOCAC help China secure broad African backing on key issues. Zimbabwe's loyalty is a product of decades of patient diplomacy and economic engagement. The South China Sea may be far away, but the political currents connect them. On to number 3. Number 3 is Venezuela, China's ally in America's backyard. United by anti-US sentiment, China has provided Venezuela with loans and investment, keeping the regime afloat amid sanctions and economic collapse. Venezuela is a vocal champion of China's South China Sea claims, framing the dispute as US interference. For China, Venezuela's support in Latin America is a strategic counter to US influence. At the UN, Venezuela and China often vote together, forming part of an axis of the sanctioned. For the Philippines, Venezuela's stance highlights the ideological battle lines in this dispute. It's not just about territory, it's about competing visions for the world order. Venezuela's loyalty is unwavering. China's alliances reach every continent. Next, number 2. Number 2 is Iran, China's strategic partner in the Middle East. Their 25-year cooperation pact brings massive Chinese investment to Iran in exchange for discounted oil, directly challenging US sanctions. Iran consistently backs China on the South China Sea, criticizing US military presence and supporting bilateral negotiations. For China, Iran is a key partner in a vital region, giving Beijing leverage over global energy and US strategy. Joint military drills further cement their alliance, signaling a new security architecture independent of the West. For the Philippines, this partnership shows how the South China Sea dispute links to global security. China's network includes major regional powers willing to stand with Beijing for both economic and ideological reasons. The stakes are global, not just regional. Iran's support is a powerful reminder of the shifting world order. Now, the number 1 spot. Let's wrap up. Number 1 is Sudan, a case study in China's influence building. When Sudan was isolated by the West, China invested billions in its oil sector, becoming its top economic partner. In return, Sudan became a loyal diplomatic ally, especially at the UN, where China shielded it from sanctions. Sudan's support for China on the South China Sea is automatic, echoing Beijing's positions in the Arab League and African Union. Even after regime change, Sudan's leaders know the value of China's partnership. This relationship is built on decades of mutual benefit and diplomatic debt. For the Philippines, Sudan's loyalty shows the long-term effectiveness of China's strategy. By stepping in where the West steps out, China builds a global chorus of support. These alliances help China reshape global norms, one diplomatic statement at a time. Now let's bring it all together. So there you have it. 10 nations, 4 continents, each with its own reasons for backing China against the Philippines. This isn't a random list. It's a carefully built network of economic, military and ideological alliances. These countries embolden China, fracture international consensus, and turn a regional dispute into a global contest. Understanding these alliances is key to understanding today's shifting world order. What do you think? Were you surprised by any of these countries? Who did we miss? Let me know in the comments below. I read as many as I can. If you enjoy deep dives like this, hit subscribe and ring the bell for more. Thanks for watching.